We basically approached it as sort of an open internship. People were free to structure their work as they saw fit, to pick a subject that they were interested in and explore it. And then the CSU particularly wanted to have a business plan drafted for the Hive Cafe. So the CSU put money towards covering an honorarium for the students that worked on the Hive Cafe. And yeah, out of that pool of interns, Laura Beach focused on the university's soft drinks contract and bottled water on campus. So she was researching what the university's contract was, what the specific nature of the agreement with Pepsi was, when it was going to be renewed, looking at other contracts at other universities, exploring alternative options for healthier options for drinks on campus, soft drinks, juices, looking at local suppliers, all that kind of stuff. Robin Rees focused on creating a food map of local and sustainable food options in and around Montreal. So she made a Google map and started mapping all of those different restaurants, farms, grocery stores, organizations, all that kind of stuff. What other projects happened? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, well, I guess Arturo, I forget his last name, but he started working with the People's Potato out at Loyola. They had a garden out there, so he went out and started working with them, learning how to garden, organizing workshops, getting into permaculture, that kind of stuff. There was the Hive Cafe group, so there was 2 sociology anthropology students and 3 business students, and they put together an initial business plan. They did surveys of students at Loyola looking at what their interests were, what kind of price range they'd be looking to spend at a cafe, their current satisfaction or dissatisfaction with the options that were available at Loyola, all that kind of stuff. And we also had get-togethers, we had discussions, we'd watch films relating to food politics. Yeah, that was sort of what happened over the summer. And then another student, Kim Fox, she wanted to organize a festival, a sustainable food festival. So she got on board and people started to help organize that. And that took place as part of orientation of that year. And so there was a film screening of not Food Inc., but another film, like the sort of happier version of Food Inc. And there was vendors, there were farmers, there were local stores, restaurants that focus on sustainable food, music, all that kind of stuff. So that was sort of the first. That was what happened that first season, that summer. And then in the fall, Leonard Fruling, he designed a tea garden at Loyola. So back behind the Hinkson Hall residence, there's a big plot of land and there's a solar house. And so it was just sitting there, and so we went to the administration and said we want to plant a tea garden, grow teas to sell at the Hive Cafe when it gets up and running. And so we applied to the Sustainability Action Fund and got a grant to purchase the equipment necessary to build a tea drying rack, to buy the seeds, to get hoses and things like that. And so in the fall, Leonard graduated, and then he joined me as a co-coordinator for the Food Systems Project. And we decided to focus really on just Loyola and on farming. And so 5 students took the internship that fall, and we worked on a whole bunch of different plans relating to urban agriculture at Loyola. So one of those projects was a beekeeping. Oh no, that was in the winter that we did the beekeeping. We did a fruit tree planting plan. So a guy named Nick, his father is actually an organic fruit tree grower out in the West Island. So we went out there, did a tour of their orchard and their nursery, I guess, and learned about organic fruit tree cultivation. And then Nick did a fruit tree planting plan for Loyola campus. which he presented to the administration at the end of the semester, and they adopted portions of it and started planting fruit trees around Loyola campus, as well as vines and things like that. We also had a student who was doing workshops with local high schools about urban agriculture and sort of working with at-risk youth. Yeah, and then we also tended to the tea garden and harvested. We planted a ton of daikon, so we harvested all the daikon, and then we did a canning workshop and talked about food preservation and food waste reduction, things like that. So yeah, that was that fall, and then in the winter we had a student do an internship focusing on beekeeping. So she was looking at urban apiculture and the possibility of getting hives at Loyola. And so we looked at all different locations, and we researched the city bylaws that apply, and we did a proposal for the administration of different potential locations that we could keep bees and how the bees would be tended, and sort of emergency security measures relating to beekeeping and things like that. Yeah. So that was, I guess, that's what I focused on. And then Sustainable Concordia was in a sort of a transitionary time at that time. There was a lot of projects and not a lot of money. Yeah, we weren't really sure how to keep the project going and what the focus was. And so I actually left the university at that time, and I took a job with an organization in Ottawa, and that's so the food system project kind of went dormant at that time.